the great state of Texas, where everything's bigger in Texas, and Steve Sarkisian's contract just got a little bit bigger. Pause, as Uncle Neely and Dukes would say. Hell, out in Texas, 50-year-old Sarkisian, who's 38-17 in his record as a Texas head coach, his contract will extend by 1 year and goes through the 2031 season. And it goes from 10.4 million to 10.8 million with annual raises that will push it to 12.3 million by the final year. What do you think about that great big contract coming out of the state of Texas?
I love it for him, man. God bless him. Well deserved. He's a winning coach, building a winning program with a winning culture. You don't see a lot of BS about his players getting into things that they shouldn't be getting into, and so I love it for him. And one thing I really love is every time the market resets, and because it's much like the NFL or the NBA. My guy, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, hasn't signed an extension. But every time somebody else signs one, you better believe the floor goes up. And so I love when the market gets reset. I would bet you, Chico, that with that being a 1 year extension, Texas may be one of those states, like a lot of states, where there's a limit on how long you can do a state contract. And
Mm-hmm.
so every time a year rolls off, you just do a 1 year extension to it. Like in
Yeah.
some states, you can't sign a 10-year contract. So
Right.
what you do is do a 9 year contract, and every time a year ends or 2 years in, you just add one to it, do a 1 year extension. So it mathematically becomes a 10-year contract. Because when you say just going from 10.4 to 10.8, but with escalators, then that to get them, performance stuff, they can give them to 12. It was probably just a bump up 1 year extension for him and his staff, to get a little bigger piece of the pie for the success that they've been having. Hats off to him, loving that market resets. Can't wait to see when Deion Sanders gets one in front of him that he can sign.
Is that like a rising tide lifting all boats right there? Because that
It, it,
floor, that
yes, it certainly is. Like, sometimes, and this is going to be a bad analogy because I'm going to talk about when players, by on their own performance, don't necessarily meet the metrics for a big pay raise, but their position reset. You see it a lot of times the past 6 years in the quarterback market, the defensive end market, the pass rushing market, the left tackle market, where the next guy up just gets the biggest contract because the current contract becomes the floor, not the ceiling. And so
right.
it doesn't matter what he did before that or what he's actually capable of. He's the next in line, and the next in line gets a bigger piece of the pie. Same thing with coaching. The next in line establishes the floor, but their performance, what they bring to the table, establishes their ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Prime has no ceiling when you try to measure out everything he means and does for Colorado, the state, for Boulder, the community, and CU, the school, the institution. But
Right.
now, as everybody enters into that $9 million to $10 million floor, then of course his has to be on the low end around that, and then you negotiate up.
Excuse me. Kind of like when we saw those quarterbacks getting all that money coming out of the draft, and it just kept getting higher and higher. They had to put a stop on that because you would have seen people getting drafted getting hundreds of millions of dollars, as soon as they get drafted without playing a damn game.
You might as well get ready for it, Chico, because it's going to happen. The NFL, just bumped up the salary cap this offseason and going to bump it up again next. It won't be long before it's a $300 million salary cap. And you look
Right.
what's about to happen in the NBA, even with it being down in views, the TV deals that they're signing, you're going to have somebody in the future of the NBA, the next 4 years, going to have $1 billion contract. Now, they may not ever achieve that as far as checks coming to them, but they're going to achieve it as in that's the bottom line on the contract. Look at what baseball is doing. Hell, just the Los Angeles Dodgers and what they're signing people to. When you
Mm-hmm.
start factoring in merchandise, ticket sales, and just the golden goose egg of TV revenue, not to mention streaming and all of its rights, the players are going to get their cut of it, and it's going to be astronomical numbers. You look at a LeBron James who, before he played a game of basketball, had already made more money from basketball than Michael Jordan had made from basketball. Now, I'm not talking about Michael Jordan's shoes. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
his Nike deal. I'm talking about Michael Jordan's NBA money. Before LeBron James ever played a game, he had made more than Michael Jordan had from basketball. because it's the market. It's his turn. It ain't going down, Chico. It's only going up. You're going to see the same thing for coaches. You're going to have it where baseline coaches' salaries for the Power Four are going to be that 8.5, 9 range. Winners are going to be that 10 and 11. Exceptional coaches like a Deion Sanders, man, they're going to be around 15 and up.
Yeah,
just off the market.
Yep, that's what it's in. So, hey, man, hey, I can't wait for it, and it's almost like playing right into Coach Prime's hands. As long as that extension is not there, and these other contracts keep coming out, keep getting okay, keep upping the money, like Uncle Neely's saying, keep upping that floor, that ceiling is going to keep raising, or keep rising, should I say? And hey, we'll take it. We'll hold on until that thing reaches maximum. Before the last time that I could sign final date, and then there it is. I think Coach Prime is in a great position, man.
In the words of a young Michael Jackson, when he was still with the Jackson 5. A, B, C. Easy 1, 2, 3. And Neely can't sing. I'm going to Usher.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold back on the phone.
Talk about Big Dog can't sing. Shoot.
No, Big Dog.
I could hold the note if it's in my hand. If it's on a piece of paper. If it's on a piece of paper, I can hold the note.